Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. But what can you say about Tuesday?
Bro,
Nothing.
it's still really cold outside.
Yeah, today's even colder.
Yeah, teens pretty much all week long. Maybe on Friday we'll see it creep into the 20s.
Dusting of snow as well on the ground. I saw a salt truck on my way in, so there's some slick areas, I guess. Be careful.
It's like just enough that you kind of want to get a shovel on it, and then you're just sort of like, man.
Took the dogs for a walk last night, and I can vouch to the fact that there is definitely ice in certain areas under the snow on the sidewalk. Almost went down.
We have too many dogs in our house for a walk at this point.
Right, but
It's just so much easier to open the door, let them go out in the backyard.
Yeah.
However, so we've got the fenced-in backyard, which is nice, but there is a door, a gate on the back fence, which on the other side of that fence is like the 15 to 20 feet of yard that I was my intent was to make it into a garden at some point, but it's overgrown and wild and crazy and needs to be completely gutted and all that stuff. And there is like a chicken wire fence around that, which keeps, the train, and then on the other side of that is a train. Well, the dogs somehow, I don't know if it's the cold and the fence moving, but the dogs have figured out they can push the fence gate open. And I let them out yesterday, and I couldn't find them. I couldn't see them when I was looking for them to bring them back in, and I had to whistle. And all three of the four of them came running from the little fenced-in area, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. Needless to say, I went out there yesterday with some zip ties, and I
made it more secure.
And I secured it up a little bit better. But yeah, the last thing I need is those three to get out and go wandering around the neighborhood in the middle of winter like this. Oof, no, thank you. No, thank you. What's new on New Release Tuesday? We'll tell you about that. We'll get to Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show, who is back in the Badger State after being down in the Big Easy last week for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. We'll get his reactions to the game and all that stuff. Yeah, definitely talked to some people while he was down there last week. Also, Bad News, Happy Music, the friggin' sports, lots of other stuff to get to. If you need anything, hit up rockmornings.com. For all of our contact info. Drew just texted, said it's as slippery as a Diddy party out there.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think it might be worse than you think.
He's out there salting. So, Drew, I'll try to get your cradle to the grave here in just a bit. And if you're like Drew and you're out there working or trying to avoid those slippery spots, let us know what you're up to today. rockmornings.com for all our contact info.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Insiders say it may soon be the end of production for the U.S. penny. So buying pennies now before they're all gone would make big sense. But where to buy them? Jimbo's National Penny Collection is offering the sales of U.S. pennies. One of these bright, shiny, slightly used pennies could be yours for only $5. That means you could buy this entire set of 20 pennies for only $100. Who knows what their value could be in years to come? The penny costs more to produce than it's actually worth. So you see, you've already made money just by buying pennies. So buy now. Take it from this satisfied customer.
We got our penny, took a picture of it, had the picture burned onto a plate, and now we got a double collectible penny plate up on the wall. Oh, I knew that wasn't going to hold.
Send your $100 payment today to Jimbo's National Penny Collection, P.O. Box 9, Beverly Hills, Florida. And you can find the zip code Jimbo didn't know it. Get your pennies today.
Yeah, get them now because they gone. They gone.
The plate, that's awesome.
Sounds like the government is moving forward by killing the penny. President Trump has directed the Treasury Department to stop minting new pennies because they cost more than a penny to produce. Sounds pretty wasteful. Obviously, they're not going to just disappear from circulation.
Of course not.
But there's not going to be any new ones.
Yeah.
Trump said, quote, "For far too long, the United States has minted pennies which literally cost us more than 2 cents. This is so wasteful. Let's rip the waste out of our great nation's budget, even if it's a penny at a time." According to the U.S. Mint, each penny actually costs 3.7 cents to make. But like a lot of things, the situation a little more nuanced than that. There are two problems with moving away from pennies. Number one, experts say it could cause us to need more nickels, which we're also losing money on. According to the Mint, each nickel costs 13.8 cents to make, which is even worse, right? When you think about the... And then analysts also say it'll cause prices to rise for consumers. If the penny is phased out, prices would just be rounded up or down to a 5-cent amount. And let's be honest, they're probably going to go up, not down. Canada, by the way, stopped minting pennies, their 1-cent pennies, back in 2012. And in 2018, 6 years after they did that, an economic analyst found that Canadians paid about $3.27 million more at the grocery store each year due to the prices being rounded higher after the change.
Keep rounding them up.
And that's inflation, though. That's going to happen if there's pennies or not. I mean, prices are always going to go up. They never go down. Have you lived in the world recently? They never go down. Nothing ever gets cheaper. Your energy bill, nothing.
Rarely, yes.
One reason that the government has to make so many pennies every year is a large percentage of them don't remain in circulation. Obviously, people don't value them, so they end up in a jar, in a drawer, in your cup holder, in your car, and the couch cushion on the ground.
Things.
They just are...
And a coffee can in your mother's cupboard in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, and, now we've got these Coinstar things, which are great, but back in the day, before those were around, you'd have to actually roll your own coins at a lot of places and bring them into the bank. The bank would be like, no, we're not doing that for you. So, pennies getting phased out. At least we won't be making any more until Trump's out of office, and then we'll see what happens.
A nickel for your thoughts.
Yeah, no more pennies. Your pet's microchipped? Your dogs?
2 of the 4.
So your dogs?
1 dog and 1 cat.
Okay. Well, you may want to look online for this because a Texas-based chip company called Save This Life apparently went under and didn't tell anybody. So they just closed the doors and said, that's it. See you later.
So if you're chipped with them, they won't be able to help? Is that the deal?
And if you scan one of their chips right now, it's not linked to anything. There's no accounts. There's nothing. There's no residual website or any of that crap. So there'd be no way to contact you. If your pet gets loose and is chipped and they scan it, they'll know the chip's there, but there won't be any information. The American Animal Hospital Association keeps a central database of all the chip numbers, but pets registered through Save This Life aren't in it anymore. The good news is your pet's microchip is fine. It doesn't need to be taken out or augmented in any way, shape, or form. You just have to re-register it through another company. And a few of the companies out there will do it for free. Some others charge about $20 to re-register your pet's chip. But
do you do that through your vet then? Do you talk to them about that?
Your vet might have your pet's chip number on file, or they can scan it. If they have it written down, you can check it yourself at AAHA.org, the American Animal Hospital Association website. But all the bad chips start with one of the 2 numbers, 991 or 900164. Again, if you have a pet that's chipped and you're interested in finding out more, you can obviously Google that, but it's a Texas-based company. I don't know how far reaching that goes in terms of what stores they're in or what states they're in, but yeah, you might want to look into that.
Got it.
Holman man has been sentenced to 24 years in prison, charges of sexually assaulting a woman and her 2 daughters during several days back in 2020. Christopher Davenport tried and convicted on 17 criminal counts in La Crosse County last fall in a case dating all the way back to September of 2020. Horrific. Investigators say that he sexually and emotionally abused the victims over a period of 4 days, and now he's going to spend 24 years in prison. At the sentencing, he claimed that there was a conspiracy against him and that people had put substances in his ears when he was asleep in jail, giving him infections. The 35-year-old Davenport kept in jail for 3 years before his trial, spending much of that time in solitary confinement. The young victims who spoke at the sentencing saying they have experienced panic and anxiety attacks because of the incident. In his defense, relatives of Davenport said other members of their family have experienced mental health problems. The judge in the case, Elliot Levine, said Davenport has shown a tendency to control others and described the defendant's behavior as frightening, mean, and cruel. Prison sentences were for the sexual abuse charges, with jail terms for other charges to be served at the same time. Levine, the judge in the case, said that the protection of the public was the main reason behind the prison sentence for Davenport. But yeah, a monster off the streets and going to jail.
Yes, for a long time.
The Amber Alert is still in effect. They haven't found this girl, the 16-year-old pregnant girl who was
wants to be hiding, unfortunately.
impregnated by a 40-year-old man out of Arkansas. Now the parents of the pregnant Beaver Dam girl, who is at the center of that Amber Alert, released a statement on Facebook last night. Sophia Franklin, who is 16, believed to be with 40-year-old Gary Day of Arkansas. The family said, quote, Sophie has been gone for a week. We don't know what to do other than wait and pray. It's a torment. Her absence is felt every moment. There is so much on the horizon for you, Sophie. Hard things, yes, but good things, too. And your family is here for all of it. We aren't going anywhere. We just need you to come back. Your value isn't found in how much money you make, how hard you work, or even the affirmation of others. Sophie, you are a soul made by God, fully known by God, and entirely loved by God. You are a gift to us. So there's a lot there, and there's a bunch more if you want to go online and read it. But the family praying for her return. Again, you can find out more about that Amber Alert, the description of the vehicle, the description of the man.
Yeah. And
and they think they're heading to Arkansas, if not already there.
Well,
they obviously
been in a relationship, but what I mean, you're talking about a 40-year-old man impregnating a 16-year-old girl, 15 probably at the time.
Yeah,
it's
horrific.
What's he doing?
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Again, find us online at rockmornings.com. Register to win for Workforce Wednesday, which will be tomorrow. Date night on Friday. You can also register to win tickets to go see Hairball at the Omni Center in March. Check out the daily podcast. You can listen to the show live on the website as well. We'll get to sports in a couple of minutes. Also, some highly suspect right now. It's 3 Days Grace.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
That, of course, is Highly Suspect with Little One on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Had a blast at that show at Copeland Park late last summer. Looking forward to this year's lineup. See what they got planned.
Hear something's right around the corner.
I've heard as well.
Announcement soon.
Heard as well. Very excited. Can't wait to find out. Bucks without Giannis through the All-Star break, and they welcomed in Golden State last night and lost 125-111.
That's the final, 125-111.
Bucks are off tonight. They're at Minnesota tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The Badgers moving up 5 spots in the most recent AP Top 25 poll. They went from number 21 to number 16, and they moved up 4 spots.
That's exciting. That's good.
In the coaches poll from 19 to 15. They're at number 7 Purdue on Saturday at noon on CBS. Only 7 games left in the regular season for the Wisconsin Badgers.
That's exciting. 16, huh?
Yeah. The Brewers pitchers and catchers report on Thursday, the 13th. Full squad workout. The first full squad workout will be on the 18th, which is next week. And, of course, they just made the announcement yesterday that one of the many things that I expect them to do this year in honor of Bob Uecker is that patch that they're going to have on all the uniforms.
Here it is. Yelich sends one to right center and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here and gone for Yelich!
Yeah. It's going to be an emotional first game on Monday, March 31st. Looking forward to being there and looking forward to getting a Uke hoodie. But Uecker getting a special honor this year, courtesy of the Brewers. Team said yesterday they're wearing a Bob Uecker jersey patch for the entire season. Called games for the Brewers for 54 years. He passed away, of course, in January. The patch, gold and navy plaid to honor the sports coats of the 70s. You might remember them
it's
for the
so great.
The commercials.
Yes.
He wore during the broadcasting career. It'll be on the sleeve of the team's uniforms. The patch will debut on the 22nd of February when the Brewers play the Reds in an exhibition game in Phoenix. The team said that later this spring they'll announce plans for a celebration of life event for Uecker as well.
By the way, that celebration of life at American Family Field, as it should be, of course.
Gonna need all that parking.
They're working
Everybody's
with his
coming.
family, by the way, to try to schedule and plan this event so
Everybody can be there and all
everybody
that,
and
yep.
be respectful of all of that. But the patch is great. It's so reminiscent of the plaid 70s suits and just that look, and obviously a great friend to everyone in the ballpark and in the ball club.
As we mentioned a few moments ago, Giannis going to be out through the All-Star break, so they needed to replace him. And Trae Young, the Atlanta Hawks guard, is going to be heading to the NBA All-Star game in place of Giannis. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver announced yesterday that he has added Trae Young to the All-Star roster as an injury replacement for Giannis Antetokounmpo, who will not play due to that calf injury. And Tiger Woods said that he's still processing his mother's death and will not play at this week's Genesis Invitational at Torrey Pines Golf Course in California. He had announced on Twitter on Monday that the Genesis Invitational, which benefits his TGR Foundation, even though he was expected to play, obviously the passing of his mother has changed things, and so he's going to pull out and just deal with that and then hopefully make it to another tournament at some point in 2025. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We've got some Pearl Jam and Memphis May Fire coming up in just a bit. Try to get to that request for Drew, who's out salting sidewalks. Be safe out there.
I'm telling you, it was slick. I did one of the roundabouts. It was just the inside part was just ice, so be careful.
Yeah, obviously.
It doesn't look like it, it looks like it's just a dusting, but in some areas.
Well, yeah, if you're in an area where you got a dusting and it got, pushed down by vehicles and maybe melted a little bit yesterday and then freezing up during the overnight, it could be a little bit treacherous on your way to work today, so slow down.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
Valentine's Day is Friday, and you know what that means. It's time to dump your partner so you don't have to blow money on a gift. Thanks to AI, we can do it for you. Introducing the SplitBot 3000. It's pre-programmed with thousands of excuses.
I think we're better off as friends. It's not you, it's me. I'm too cheap to spend $20 on a box of candy from Walmart.
Okay, maybe not that one. The SplitBot 3000 from the makers of DivorceBot 2000.
Hey kids, Mommy and I are separating, and it's all your fault.
Oh, man. Yeah, fellas, don't forget Valentine's Day, of course, on Friday. I don't know. You know how I feel. I don't buy into this crap. It's a Hallmark holiday. They created it so that they could sell cards and flowers, and that's great and all that. But I don't feel any more love for my wife on Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday or whenever. It doesn't. Some day on the calendar doesn't influence my desire for my wife.
I think I saw Ray Romano talking about where he was like, I send flowers, she's thankful, and it works out for us. I just need the whole country apparently to remind me to do that once in a while. So,
yeah. But if
collectively everybody's saying
if you're into it,
yep.
Look, go have a nice meal, date night, whatever. But I don't need it on a February 14th versus a July 8th. It doesn't really matter to me. We are going out for a nice dinner on Saturday, though. I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
A restaurant that we've never been to, so that we've been, it's been around for a while, and we've always been like, yeah, we got to go there. And we just haven't. And now I was like,
perfect excuse.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be any more romantic than anything else we do in life, but at least it's a nice meal and some good drinks and all that stuff. Television tonight, you got FBI over on CBS, Doc on Fox, the first season finale of High Potential on ABC, also on NBC tonight, Deal or No Deal Island. There's a new Witcher film. It's called Sirens of the Deep. It's on Netflix, the second adult animated film set in the Witcher universe. New stand-up comedy special over on Hulu called Kelsey Cook, Mark Your Territory. Also, the premiere of 50,000 First Dates, A True Story. This is on Prime Video. Do you remember Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore, 50
yes,
First
yeah,
Dates?
Oh, yeah, of course.
A woman who suffers amnesia forgets her fiancé. It's a real-life 50 First Dates type scenario. It's a documentary series
no way. So she
on Prime Video.
Constantly forgets?
Apparently. Also tonight, Will Trent, FBI International, The Joe Schmo Show, The Rookie, The Irrational, and FBI Most Wanted. Jimmy Fallon's going to be talking to Fred Armisen and Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics, and also Super Bowl champions Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley will make their debut on the Fallon Show.
Oh, really?
Jalen Hurts had to go to Disney World real quick and do that whole thing. Saquon was shotgunning beers and trying to protect his fiancée, who Some old tweets resurfaced, and it's not good.
All right.
Anthony Mackie is going to be on with Kimmel. So is Lizzie Kaplan. Anthony Mackie, of course. New Captain America in theaters this weekend.
That's
a little romantic date night.
Yeah, there you go.
Also going to be the Grand Marshal at the Daytona 500. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that.
Yeah. BFM, Bill Murray. Going to be on with Seth Meyers.
Huh?
And I don't know if you saw, but there was a Bill Murray. Did it play during our Super Bowl here? Apparently it wasn't national, but it was on in some local markets where you could email Bill Murray. He saw himself as a dog in a mirror, and then he came over with an email address and flashed it on he had it handwritten on a piece of paper, and then you would send him an email. It wouldn't be him, but it was probably some Chat GPT type thing, and then it would spew out a story that it would send back to you.
I didn't see it. I'm not saying it didn't air. I just didn't see it while I was watching.
I did read that it wasn't on the national telecast. It was, on
certain markets.
Yeah. New release Tuesday. Not a whole lot coming out on DVD, so you don't have to rush to the store and buy anything. But there is a movie called Across the River and Into the Trees. It stars Liev Schreiber, also Josh Hutcherson. It's set in the post-World War II Italian Venice. War-torn U.S. Army Colonel Richard Cantwell is a true hero who faces the news of his illness with indifference. That sounds like something that piques your interest. We watched the Wolfman movie last night, the one with Ruth from Ozark.
What's wrong with Daddy? He got sick.
That's one way to put it. It was good.
Was it?
Yeah. One thing about werewolf movies is the transformation is obviously the key here. How do they transform from a man into a wolf? This one didn't follow the moonlight trope where you got to be in a full moon. It did have a lot of tropes, however. Guy in the middle of the road and you swerve to avoid him and you end up crashing your vehicle. That trope was in there. The no cell service trope, the no electricity at the house trope. All the horror movie tropes that you can't find a gun or a weapon trope, all that stuff.
Did he get attacked by a werewolf? That's how he became
I don't want to give too much of it away, but yes, he did get attacked by a werewolf, and he starts to turn into one. And it's a gradual, I don't know, it's one night, so it's over the course of several hours. But visually, I thought they did a great job with the transformation aspect, because it goes from he looks like he's got an illness or maybe some sort of flu and sickness to something's really wrong with my husband, and now I need to defend my life and my daughter's life. So we watched it on a streaming service. It's on Prime. You can pay for it. We watched it on a gray area streaming service, but it was okay.
Werewolf.
Yeah, Wolfman is the name of it. Wolfman. Probably going to try to catch that new Nosferatu as well. Not a big fan of reboots, but it's getting a lot of high praise.
Yeah, apparently. My people liked it.
Okay.
Well, the two guys did. My daughter thought it was dumb.
Yeah. We had some dinner and watched the Wolfman movie. That's what we did last night. What did you do in your house? Dog walk?
Walked the dogs, made some dinner, looked at finances for college.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds not fun.
And then I went to bed.
I've been hemming and hawing about buying these Incubus tickets. They're playing at Treasure Island in July 5th, and it's the tickets themselves are
reasonable.
I guess if you want to consider, depending on what you're willing to pay. I mean, you could get in for like $60 per ticket. Obviously, that's the GA way in the back. The ones closer to the stage, much more expensive. But it's the hotel stay is like really expensive, and you kind of have to. It's a drive.
Connected.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
well, no, it's a drive. We could make the trip in one night and come back, but I'm almost 50. I don't want to do that anymore. Like that's a guy in his 20s thing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're gonna stay up all night and go see Incubus. That's so. Hemming and hawing about that. Plus, it's like right before Rockfest, and there's we got this Metallica trip in May.
Weekend, though, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, but it's still just it's nice that 4th of July falls on a Friday this year, fireworks wise, because you can have a little party and stay up late and watch the fireworks. And you don't have to get up the next day and go to work. But it's still, we'll see.
Little getaway.
We'll see. Did you look into tickets for AC/DC? I know you said you were going to.
Yeah.
No.
We looked into them. Like I said, they were a couple $100 on the resale market each, so I put that on pause.
But might be the last chance you get to see them, right?
It probably would be, but
okay.
There's a lot of fires going on right now.
All right. Yeah, well,
Remember
obviously
when I
you're
was
talking about going to college.
Did you hear about that part?
Yeah, I heard it. We'll get to Grant Bills just after 8 o'clock. He's going to join us talking about the Super Bowl, his experience down in New Orleans. Also, bad news, happy music later on. Some Disturbed is on the way right now. It's AC/DC.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
AC/DC with Highway to Hell. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Text earlier from Drew said it's as slippery as a Diddy party out there. It's laying down some salt. Wanted to hear some Cradle to the Grave.
Slippery and very cold today. Single digits, it looks like.
Also got a text from Jim who said he can't wait for baseball. Go Braves. Yeah, around here, Jim, no one cares. But thanks for the text. Much like my Red Sox, no one around here really cares.
But yay to the baseball.
Yeah, very excited. Pitchers and catchers, most teams reporting this week, if not early next week. And then, of course, full workouts and then spring training games get started. And the Brewer home opener right around the corner, March 31st.
Yeah, bus from Eau Claire going to that game, buses from La Crosse going to that game. We'll all meet up in the parking lot for some tailgates and then, do what you want. We've got certain areas in the ballpark where we'll have different parties with food and beverages included. You can find it all at wiscotrips.com.
Yeah, not going to be able to. We're going back to New England again this year. So when my mom died last year and we had to clean out the house, there was a bunch of stuff there that we couldn't fit in the car. We like the riding lawnmower and the snow thrower. So those are sitting at my aunt's house right now, and we're heading back in October. With my truck to get a trailer and bring those back so they can stay with me. And that'll obviously be, unless, God forbid, the Red Sox make the postseason, probably not going to be able to see a Red Sox game at Fenway this year. But maybe a Pats game at Gillette. We'll see. We got to wait for that schedule to come out, so we'll see. But yeah, also very excited about baseball, at least the beginning of it. Love taking opening day and going to a bar.
And it's a Monday. I think that's so great this week.
Well, that's the home opener. I think the actual season opener
Thursday,
is a Thursday. Yeah. So, and I think pretty much every team's playing, whether weather provides. But that's the nice thing about Miller Park is you get a game no matter what the weather's doing, unless the roof breaks.
Yeah, you'll have a game. And that'll be that Monday, and you can find out again about those trips to be there in person, wiscotrips.com.
Yeah, head to wiscotrips.com if you want to take the bus to Miller Park to see the Brewers take on the Royals on Monday, March 31st. It's going to be a hell of a good time. Can't wait to see all the tributes to you. Not going to be a dry eye in the house, man.
Nope.
Going to be a lot of old dudes crying. Right? Grandpa's going to be tearing up.
You should get yourself a suit jacket.
Nah, I'm going for the, like I said, I'm getting the Euchre, the hoodie. The one that's on sale. I could have bought it right now if I wanted to on the website, but I'll wait and try to grab it at the store. We'll see what kind of...
At the park itself?
The last time we went to Miller Park last year, the store, the...
Pro Shop
was just... I mean, it's brutal in
Was
there.
it getting a lot of traffic? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. And that was last season. It was crazy in there, though. It's like you're trying to get, to this area of the store, that area of the store, and the line's all zigzagged, and people are going here and going there, and it's like, oh, my God. It's like... And I know they got ancillary spots all over through the ballpark or whatever.
But it was opening day. Is that what were you there?
No, it was like, I don't know, it was like June or something. But anyways, Disturbed coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
That, of course, is Disturbed with Stupefy.
Cold and sunny today. That's what we've got. Single digits, it looks like, and well below zero tonight. Cold again tomorrow. There is some snow that they're going to watch moving through the Rockies that could be here later in the week, but it doesn't look like it's going to amount to too much.
All right. Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day. National Guitar Day. National Latte Day.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm assuming that some places will have
I'm going to go get something.
A deal on
later.
a latte. And also Peppermint Patty Day. Nothing really outstanding. Unless you like lattes.
Love me some lattes.
Which one is that?
Well, it's got milk. It can have milk in it.
It's coffee.
Espresso, usually.
Coffee and milk.
Yeah, espresso and milk, but yes.
Is an espresso coffee?
Strong coffee.
So it's coffee.
And then generally flavored. I mean, I get mine flavored.
Okay. So it's coffee with milk.
And could be iced, could be hot with the foam on the top. Just depends on how you want to roll later today.
Bro. You coffee dorks and your coffee dork drinks.
Yep.
Can't do it. It's like vegan burgers. It's just coffee.
Oh, it's not just coffee, though.
It is.
It's a delicious
It's a bean
drink.
that gets ground and brewed.
Last week I had, usually I don't go for real sweet ones because it's just
Not your jam?
Not my jam, but I was in the mood, and it was called chocolate covered strawberry, so it had like mocha flavor in it and strawberry in it. It was iced, and I got it half sweet, otherwise it can be overpowering. Oh my God, it was so delicious.
LA wildfires. Hundreds, if not thousands, of homes and businesses destroyed. Glimmers of hope here and there. Dogs returning. People finding treasured items amongst the rubble. We had the guy with the engagement ring, right? Found it right where the desk was and proposed right then and there. The guy with the dog that went and run away. The guy that came home with the bear living under his house.
Well, and I saw just this weekend the family they've lived like 8 different places because they're crashing here, they're crashing there, they're crashing because they're no place to stay, and they're moving from hotel to hotel. And
this is a cool story about a elderly man whose house was saved by some firefighters who then wrote him a letter and left it in his mailbox for when he returned.
To whom it may concern, the house to the right of you was completely on fire, and the burning fence between the houses was about to catch your house on fire. And we kept the fire from that door. I couldn't believe it because I did not know how the house survived.
That was one of our prouder moments being on the incident.
Since then, our team has found great solace on your deck, gazing out at the beautiful Pacific Ocean.
You ready for this?
Probably not.
The curve. Tony and his wife, Christina, lived there for a long time at this house. Beautiful view of the ocean. She passed away a year ago. So all those memories in that house. And granted, just a house.
Yeah.
But his home overlooking the ocean held priceless memories of his wife, Christina, who sadly passed away a year ago. The belongings she left behind carry a lot of deep sentimental value for Tony, and he prayed they were saved by firefighters doing their job during the LA wildfires, and his whole family felt overwhelming relief when they learned that Tony and Chrissy's house was miraculously saved. When they returned home on January 24th, Tony discovered a heartfelt letter in the mailbox by 4 heroic firefighters explaining how they had saved his home. As you heard him say there, house right next to you on fire, complete loss. Said, we were so sorry for the devastation your neighborhood has endured. It is truly heartbreaking. We can only imagine the toll it has taken on everyone affected. When we returned a few days later, it brought us great relief to see we were able to save your house. The house to the right of you was completely on fire and burning the fence, about to catch your house on fire.
We were able to do something about it at that moment.
We stopped the fire from burning through to your side door and kept the fire from your deck and roof. Since then, our amazing team has found solace on your deck, gazing out at the beautiful Pacific Ocean. It has offered a moment of calm amidst the chaos. So, yeah, Tony, and picture him with the letter and the firefighters and, all the feels.
Where they could just take a breather and look out on the ocean.
And if you see the picture of the firefighters on the back deck, you can see why. I mean, like, literally right out the back door, it's the Pacific Ocean there. So, yeah. Pretty impactful for him. Speaking of impact, Eeyore the donkey and the yoga ball. Have you heard about Eeyore the donkey and the yoga ball?
But I love it already because donkeys are cool.
A very sad donkey named Eeyore.
Got a toy?
Doing much better after getting a new home on Vancouver Island in Canada. He had lived alone his entire life, and someone's backyard wasn't great with other animals. It was in okay shape, right? But hadn't interacted with any other animals, so he's just out there doing his own thing and kind of sad. Sanctuary called Home for Hooves took him in when his owner passed away, and the woman who runs it wanted to give him something to do, so she tossed a big yoga ball into his pen. You know, one of those ones.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
Apparently, Eeyore loved it. Went crazy. Played with it all the time. Just batting it around, picking it up, throwing it, doing all sorts of stuff. Played with it constantly until
it popped. Yep.
However, people on social media heard about it and started sending him all sorts of yoga balls. He ended up with about 50 yoga balls sent to him. Still plays with him, doesn't need him as much anymore because he did bond with 3 other rescue donkeys that she had brought in. She says it's nice to see him finally have a family. Also renamed him Earl because Eeyore just seemed too depressing.
The excitement was just like pure joy for him. He just had the time of his life. It was like so much fun. His ball was deflated and he was trying to play with it. It was like a kid in a candy store. This was like the greatest thing ever. It's just nice for him to be part of a family and they can do donkey things together. So that's really exciting. This is the life we want him to have and now he has it.
Donkey things. Michelle is her name, Michelle Singleton. Says the animal was depressed. His original name was Eeyore, which kind of tells you he was a sad, lonely donkey. Not only had his owner recently died, but Eeyore had spent his entire life in a backyard by himself, which is obviously very detrimental for herd animals.
Yes.
Like donkeys.
Yes.
Michelle said he needs to be with other donkeys. So it took a while, but eventually with the yoga ball and the help of people on social media and a couple other rescue donkeys, she was able to get Eeyore out of his funk and rename him Earl.
Ugh.
Earl the donkey.
And his yoga balls.
Doing donkey things.
With his buds. Donkey things.
We'll get to some Metallica in just a bit. Rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with us.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
This holiday, before things get too busy and before money is spent on expensive gifts, break things off with her now by getting her the Broken Heart Necklace.
Oh, how sweet. Wait, is this a broken heart necklace? Are you breaking up with me? Are you breaking up with me?
The Broken Heart Necklace.
Oh, you're so stupid. I should be breaking up with you. You're an idiot.
It says so much, so you don't have to.
You loser.
But she'll have plenty to say about the Broken Heart Necklace.
Here's your stupid necklace.
Nothing says we're done like the Broken Heart Necklace.
You didn't break my heart, moron.
Get yours today from Nip It in the Bud Jewelers.
Valentine's Day this Friday. If you care about this crap, if you find inspiration in a certain day on a calendar, then right up your alley. Also, you don't want to be the guy who didn't get his wife something, a card, some flowers, an oily massage, a naked oily massage.
Whatever, says I love you, babe.
Whatever that might be.
I got a little pot of some tulips the other day.
That's your Valentine's Day gift?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably cook something yummy at home over the weekend.
What's your lip? You all right?
I'm stressed out, dude. Yeah, I'm fine.
You biting it or is that herpes? You got a
I'm
herp?
biting it.
Oh, stop biting it.
Okay.
Sorry. I just noticed it. Well, I hope your tulips are beautiful.
Yeah, they are. They're blooming, and that's nice. And we're probably going to cook something.
What do your tulips look like?
They're pink. Thanks. You're a child. You're an actual child.
How do your tulips? How do your tulips?
It's a child.
I'm trying. How do your tulips look compared to someone else's tulips?
They're ready to bloom, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yes.
Jean's got blooming tulips.
Yes. Yes. What's on your list there?
A new poll about Valentine's Day said 39% of Americans.
39% of Americans.
39% of Americans said they plan to celebrate Valentine's Day this year. 45% do not plan to celebrate, so more people are not feeling the love.
Well, maybe they don't have the love.
16% of people are not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Men, by the way, more likely to say that they are celebrating. Younger adults most likely to say that they aren't sure if they'll have Valentine's Day plans this weekend. Another survey asking people what they plan on doing for V-Day. Most popular response?
Food.
Something special at home. A dinner, some sex, an oily massage, a gift of tulips.
Mm-hmm.
Tulips.
Mm-hmm. Maybe watch a movie, snuggle up on the couch.
Put your pink tulips in front of them and say, look at my pink tulips.
It's on the kitchen table, as a matter of fact.
Second most popular response was going out to a restaurant or bar, followed by celebrating at a friend or family member's house. You going over to your buddy's house to have some Valentine's Day celebrations?
I don't think so.
Like, hey, Donut, I'm coming over for V-Day.
Maybe not that kind of a buddy. Maybe like Galentine's, maybe. Kind of like
yeah,
that.
but that's different. That's Galentine's Day.
I know.
It's frittata, right? Brunch and some
mimosas.
Mimosas and talking about girl power and stuff, right? Nike ads and going over to a friend's house. Or going out to some kind of special event, concert, movie premiere. And whether you have a Valentine or not, there is no shame in treating yourself. According to this poll, 34% of Americans plan to get themselves a gift on Valentine's Day this year. 40% of women will do that, and 28% of men. I was just thinking yesterday, you could probably tell I shaved my head, once every 2 weeks, usually I'll do the trim and, shave my...
You need a new razor? Is that what you're saying?
No. I was thinking the only time and the last time that I ever got a straight razor, I did a thing, was before our wedding when I had my bachelor party when all the guys were in town.
Oh, and you all
we took them all out for a shave and a cigar and all that stuff and drank some beers and whatnot, but I was thinking about something like that. I know women get all jazzed up about getting their hair did and all that crap. And I know there's a lot more barbershops in town now, so I was thinking maybe some self-care.
Taking care of you for Valentine's?
That hot towel thing. I hear that's really nice.
Sounds nice.
Or an oily massage.
I'm up for a massage all the time.
I got a schedule.
I would never say no.
I got gift cards for those. I got to get one. Happy Valentine's Day on Friday. We'll get to some more V-Day stuff a bit later on. Plus, Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show is going to join us. We'll get to sports after Metallica.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
May. Early May. It's 2 weeks from now. Can't wait. Very excited. Metallica in Nashville. Looking forward to it.
Is that a 3-night, 2-night thing?
2-night. Same as last year, the M72
Friday,
World
Sunday?
Tour. I think this one's Thursday, Saturday. We leave on a Wednesday, which is the last day in April. And then we come back that Sunday after the show's over. So, unfortunately, where Nashville is, wife wanted to go to some places also in Tennessee. I think Graceland and stuff, and it's too far away. So, but yeah, I think we leave on the 30th, which is Wednesday, April 30th, and then the next night is Metallica, May 1st, and then Saturday the 3rd.
Do you have tickets for both nights?
Well, yeah. Of course.
Okay. I didn't.
Yeah. Bucks lost to the Golden State Warriors last night, 125-111. They are off tonight. They're at Minnesota tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The Badgers men's basketball team moving up. In the most recent AP Top 25 poll, they went from 21 to 16. Over in the coaches poll, they went from 19 to 15. They'll be at number 7 Purdue Saturday at noon on CBS. Big test for the Badgers as they look forward to the postseason and March Madness. Only 7 games left in the regular season for the Badgers. Brewers pitchers and catchers report Thursday, the 13th, and their first full squad workout will be on the 18th, which is next Tuesday.
Next
week
Tuesday.
from today. As we mentioned earlier, Captain America landing at the Great American Race. Actor Anthony Mackie is set to give the command for the drivers to start their engines on Sunday at the Daytona 500. He plays Captain America in the new Marvel Studios film, Captain America: Brave New World, which opens on Friday, so he's going to be busy.
Yeah.
Down there in Daytona this weekend. A performer in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show detained after he unfurled a combined Palestinian and Sudanese flag during the performance. The NFL confirmed yesterday that the person was part of the 400-member field cast, had hidden the flag on himself before the halftime show began. The league released a statement saying no one involved with the production was aware of the individual's intent. The individual will be banned for life from all NFL stadiums and events.
So they just brought it on their own, did it on their own, hid it on their own.
And some cameras caught it, but it wasn't on the main broadcast, apparently. And speaking of the Super Bowl, if there's one thing Philly fans love to do, it's to party hard after their team wins a championship.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened on Sunday night, not just in Philadelphia, but also on Bourbon Street. Not sure if you saw any of the videos. They were on top of garbage trucks. They were climbing the greased up poles. There was a bunch of horses. I don't know. There was a bunch of people riding horses in the streets. They apparently, they somehow took over a Ryder, I think it was a Ryder shipping truck, and opened it up and started throwing pillows and all sorts of crap out. Like just mayhem. Absolute mayhem.
In New Orleans.
Eagles fans immediately pouring into the streets of Philly and celebrating all night long. The mayor Sherelle Parker pleading with citizens to stay off the light poles and keep the chaos to a minimum in the days leading up to the game, but her message basically ignored. They don't care. Yeah, I know you got to do it, but, like, they're going to burn that town to the ground at some point. Eagles fans ripped down traffic lights and carried them through the streets of Philadelphia. They took over multiple garbage trucks in downtown, climbing on top of them to celebrate, sliding down parking garages, backflips.
Okay.
All sorts of stuff. There's a horse. There's horses riding all over the place. They even found somebody brought a Kermit the Frog doll and burned it in effigy of Patrick Mahomes because he sounds like Kermit the Frog. It was just a wild scene, man. The videos are great. Eagles fans gonna eagle.
I hate the Eagles, man.
I mean, some of that, backflips and sliding down a thing, okay, but then, destroying property with the truck and throwing items. And
the dump trucks are probably much like around here with the parades. You put them there to stop people from driving into the parades and all that stuff. You put them at the ends of streets. But, yeah, I saw a video where they must have broken into the back of a moving truck or something.
And they're just
throwing.
I mean,
I don't even know if it's looting. They're just throwing everything out of it. They're just going crazy. That's ripping down flagpoles and light poles and. Yep. There's no shortage of videos out there of Eagles fans going crazy.
Some of it I approve of. Some of it, not so much.
There was a nice video of a guy in a garage, a parking ramp, and it was some kind of trolley that
like
you would
pedal pub.
So, like, think of like a laundry cart. You got the big basket, right? The cloth basket, and underneath there's like a trolley, right? It's like a flat piece of wood with some wheels on it. And if you were to separate those two things, that's what this guy was. They started him out at like kind of the top where you get to and he's going down, and all the people are cheering and going crazy. And
he's riding a big thing down a hill.
Not a hill. He was in a parking ramp, and he's surrounded by other Eagles fans. And then at the end, he jumps up and does a backflip, and everybody cheers.
Well, that's all right.
Not the worst that was going on there in Philly, but yeah. Next hour, we'll talk to Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show. See how his experience was down in Bourbon Street. Got more Valentine's Day stuff coming up in just a bit, as well as some Falling in Reverse.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
This year, don't let your Super Bowl party leftovers go to waste. Turn them into a beautiful Valentine's Day surprise for your sweetheart. You know that cold buffalo wing dip still laying around? Use your hands and mold it into a heart shape. And then, for added romance, overlap 2 Funyuns in the middle to represent your infinite and salty bond. Looking for a sexy dress to wear? With a couple of strategic cuts, the losing team's jersey can give you that sexy, short, and flirty look you're searching for. Need a date? Come on, girl, you were just in a room with a bunch of drunken football guys. Pick one. It's the best way to have a happy Valentine's Leftovers Day. Can somebody pass the 7-layer dip macaroons?
Leftover day.
I did bring in some dip this morning. I don't see any pulled pork. I don't know what you're doing.
I have some for lunch in my lunch container.
Now that your herpes have been all over it.
That's what's going on for sure.
I don't know if I want to try your leftover pulled pork.
I brought you a mini bun. Like a slider.
I don't see that anywhere in the studio right now.
I just told you. I brought it for lunch. It's in the thing. We'll have some later.
Your lunch and my lunch do not coincide with one another.
My lunch is not now. Is your lunch right now?
Well, I've been up since 1 a.m., so I'm getting there. Well. Yeah. Valentine's Day, of course, on Friday. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to cash in on everybody's love, and maybe you've watched Mr. Deeds a time or two, then you become a villain for hire. Have you seen Mr. Deeds, Adam Sandler? Winona Ryder? Adam Sandler's uncle dies and he inherits his billions and billions of dollars. And they fly him to New York, and there's a reporter played by Winona Ryder, and she pretends to be his girlfriend to find out more and get a story on him. And in their first meeting, she pays a coworker to assault her or whatever, and so Adam Sandler can come to the rescue.
So this is the same kind of thing? Undercover?
Exactly the same kind of thing. There's a guy in Malaysia, obviously going to help us here in Wisconsin, but still funny. Started a business known as Villain for Hire, where you basically pay him money He shows up and starts harassing your partner or your date, and then you get to beat him up and play the hero. 28 years old.
Then I don't.
Advertising his service on Facebook, says he charges a reasonable fee, starting somewhere between $25 and $40 American money.
It's very reasonable to get
whatever their exchange rate is. Maybe it's a lot in Malaysia.
Beat up. That's what.
In one post, the villain says, quote, "Are you tired of your partner thinking you are weak? I can help you prove them wrong. It's all just an act like WWE. No one gets hurt. I am the only quote-unquote loser." And apparently it's not just about harassing women. He's also willing to pester men for female clients, so then the woman can beat his ass.
He's equal opportunity harassment.
Apparently Malaysia has some very strict sexual harassment laws, so there could be some trouble if things go awry. And maybe someone takes it seriously and then reports him to the authorities. But
I don't know that I want a fake setup to show you,
Wouldn't you be able to tell? You're just out. All of a sudden some crazy person comes up and you got to beat him up. Like, what if you're not a beat up guy? If she already thinks you're not a guy who fights, and then all of a sudden randomly you're going to fight. Some
person who obviously might have some issues.
I have seen a lot of funny memes about this kind of thing, though. Like Thanksgiving, for $50, I'll be your date to Thanksgiving, and make it really awkward. Or I'll pretend to be your therapist for $200. I'll pretend to be your therapist, and I'll convince your husband that everything he says is wrong.
Well, taking a fake date to your holiday gathering so you don't have to get asked the question of when are you gonna find somebody or whatever. That's a movie.
Or like
set up in the making.
For some money, I'll show up at your wedding and I'll be the person who shouts out that they disagree with this nuptial.
Same kind of thing.
Same kind of idea, yeah. Villain for hire. No?
Not for me.
Entrepreneurial, though.
Very.
Gotta give him credit.
Trying to make cash where he can.
Probably a very niche market, right? Probably not too many clients. Got a text earlier. We were talking about the donkey. And Chris in Alabama texted in and said, "Donkey things, does that have anything to do with Tijuana?"
I wondered about that, too.
Kinky Kelly? No. Chad also texted in and said, "What's better than roses on your piano? Tulips on your organ?"
Ba-dum-bum. Tip your waiters.
Thank you, Chad.
Here all week. Chad's here all week.
Also got a text from someone, I don't know who it is. They didn't include a name here. It says, "Saying it's just coffee is like telling you it's just beer. Big difference in flavors."
Oh, National Latte Day. I did text my squad and asked them if they wanted to get one later.
Yeah. Beer is still just beer. Coffee is just coffee. I mean, you can call it a bunch of different names, but at the end of the day, it's still just coffee.
I was going to see who has specials for that.
This person says, "I know you don't like IPAs, and neither do I. It tastes like cat piss." Yeah, I agree, but IPAs are still beer. It's a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different taste.
Latte is a coffee. It's just whatever you name it.
Different.
Yeah. Thanks for the text. Appreciate it. Rockmornings.com to get in touch with us. Grant Bill's going to join us just after 8 o'clock, talk about his experience down in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Also get to bad news, happy music later on. Right now, it's Pop Evil.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Ugly Kid Joe, everything about you on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Before that, some Pop Evil. And coming up in just a bit, Grant Bills, our good buddy from the Wisco Sports Show, talking about his experience at the Super Bowl. Of course, we talked to him last week from New Orleans. He did not stay for the game, came back and watched it on his television. I listened to a bit of his program online this morning.
And?
His show yesterday, his first post-Super Bowl show.
Yeah, I bet he was a little bit warmer when he was down there. Good food and some good weather and taking in all the excitement of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got a message from my guy Pickles talking about the Philly fans. We were referencing them destroying their own town, jumping on garbage trucks and ripping down light poles. And Pickles says, "Worst fans ever. Let's destroy our city." And the city is in the city where the bowl is being held. No other fan base does that.
I don't know. I was just going to say
fan base,
that's not true.
Look, I don't like Eagles fans. I've never made that a secret.
But when people
I think they're some of the worst in the NFL, and if you were to ask anybody in the country, they'd probably poll pretty high. But people have said that about Patriots fans. I mean, when the Packers won the Super Bowl.
Stuff happens.
Fans go nuts. They're fanatics for a reason. They're called fanatics because they lose their mind. And when you invest that much time and emotion and money into a team, starting in August, training camp, all that stuff, through the season, playoffs, the tension, and then finally the victory at the end, you're going to let off some steam.
They rip down field goals in college games.
Oh, they still do that.
Right,
yeah.
that's when...
But I do agree with you, Pickles. Some of the worst fans in the league, no doubt. Sunshine, but bitterly cold today, no matter where you are in Wisconsin. It's going to be cold.
Single digits for the most part, and below zero tonight. It continues, by the way, through this weekend and into next week. We're still talking cold.
Get to some chili peppers here in a couple minutes. Stick around.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m.
Chili peppers on Rock Mornings, giving it away. Mike Shinoda of Fort Minor and Lincoln Park is 48.
Fort Minor, M. Shinoda, styles of beyond.
Yeah, Lincoln Park. They're just printing money at this point. Back at it with a new lead singer and printing money. We saw him during the Super Bowl, and now he's 51. Isaiah Mustafa, the guy from the Old Spice commercials.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me.
Yeah. What was that, Instacart, I think, right?
Yes, part of the,
Kool-Aid Man and all that stuff. Jennifer Aniston is 56.
It would be nice if you said thank you and helped me with the dishes.
Fine. I'll help you do the dishes.
Oh, come on. You know what? No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
56, Jennifer Aniston.
Centerpiece. Lemons.
Sarah Palin is 61.
How's that hopey, changey stuff working out for you?
Also turning 61 today, Ken Shamrock. UFC fighter, WWE wrestler. Ken Shamrock. This young lady is 63.
All I want to do is have a little fun before I die.
Sheryl Crow. All she wants to do is have her picture taken away. See Kid Rock freaked out?
Yes, I did.
I wouldn't say. Look,
Did he freak out?
I get. No, he didn't freak out. Side note, tangent. Sorry, but obviously Sheryl Crow, Kid Rock picture, very popular song many years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kid Rock was, I guess, at some show with Bon Jovi. It was like a birthday party for one of the guys in Bon Jovi or something like that, and they brought him up on stage to sing "Proud Mary," and they couldn't get the Look, dude, these are professionals who need to have, their in-ears and all that stuff. And, you get up there and you try to... And then the crowd's not feeling it. And he basically says, if you guys aren't going to clap around, then I'm going to leave. And he left. And I don't blame him. Whatever, man. If they're not feeling it, then get off stage and don't be a part of the vibe.
There as a special guest, you're right, for the keyboardist.
But the thing that pisses me off is that, because he's a Trump supporter, right? He's a very ardent and very vocal Trump supporter. All these websites, music websites are killing him, saying he had a tantrum and a meltdown. And it's like, I watched the video and I listened to it. It wasn't a meltdown or a tantrum. He just said, basically, if you guys aren't going to clap and be into it,
we ain't going to clap. We ain't going to sing. That's how it's going to go.
Yeah. I don't know. They're not into it, then he'll leave.
And then a few people did, right?
Yeah. Well, at first, he's like, you guys got to clap and help us out. And a couple people did. And then they kind of faded off. And you're like, okay, well, I'm wasting my time up here. I would get through the whole song and then...
Right. Did he kind of leave the band hanging?
Well, it makes me mad that people try to make it out like he had a tantrum. And look, dude, have you ever seen a tantrum? That is not a tantrum. Watch a 4-year-old in a department store have a tantrum and tell me that that's what Kid Rock did. The only living member of the Gilligan's Island cast, Tina Louise, is 91 today.
Wow.
Ginger on Gilligan's Island. She is the last surviving cast member of the 7 castaways. Born on this day way back in 1936. Died in 2018. Smokey and the Bandits and Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL. Burt Reynolds.
Let's just start with famous Roberts for 400. And the answer is, this was John F. Kennedy's younger brother. Marlon Brando.
What is Teddy?
No. Burt Reynolds.
I'll tell you something, Alex. I think he's right.
It's funny because it's big. Found it backstage. Yeah, big hat. Big hat.
Makes it funny.
Burt Reynolds, born on this day in 1936, dying in 2018. Leslie Nielsen, born on this day in 1926. He died in 2010.
I'm Lieutenant Frank Drebin, police squad.
You'd better tell the captain we've got to land as soon as we can. This woman has to be gotten to a hospital.
A hospital? What is it?
It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
How about dinner? I know this little out-of-the-way place that serves great Viking food.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Leslie Nielsen, born on this day in 1926. Going to be replaced by Liam Neeson in the new Naked Gun movie that's coming out. Born on this day in 1938, died in 2007, Bobby Boris Pickett.
Yeah.
The Monster Mash, Gene.
Yeah.
He did the mash. The Monster Mash. Yeah. Boris Pickett. Born on this day. Let's see. February 11, 1981, the movie My Bloody Valentine in theaters. Apparently, it was so gory at the time, they had to cut 9 minutes of it out before it would air in theaters in America.
Is that the first of many My Bloody Valentines?
There's been several incarnations of it, but the original came out in 1981 about a coal miner that went crazy and started killing people on Valentine's Day with his big old pickaxe. Some good boobies in that movie, too, by the way.
Always in the 80s.
1990, 35 years ago today.
Tonight, he is a free man. Nelson Mandela, the leader of the African National Congress. He walked out of a prison on a gloriously sunny South African afternoon. And there is general agreement that his freedom begins a new era in South Africa.
1990, Nelson Mandela freed from prison after 27 years. Also on this day in 1990.
Oh, the uppercut. What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's over. It's over. Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
Perhaps one of the craziest scenes in all of sports, a 42-1 underdog, a virtual unknown at the time, Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. Looked like it was going to be another tomato can beat down by the champ, Iron Mike, and he goes in there and gets waxed by Buster Douglas in the 10th round to win the undisputed heavyweight championship. It was, man,
wild.
I vividly remember, like, that was, you know, back in the day when we got done, you know, with wrestling and stuff, that boxing was the next thing, and Tyson was he was on,
he was
man.
King
and
at that
his
point.
fights were must-see TV, and we would all get together and buy the pay-per-view and pizzas and beers and all that stuff, and watching that happen was like,
can you imagine the odds on that?
Like if you put, well, again, you put $100 on that, you're not gonna be rich, but you're gonna make some serious coin. 1993, Janet Reno appointed Attorney General by President Clinton. She was the first female to hold the position.
So how does it feel to be interviewed by the Attorney General of the United States? The job you only dreamed about having. It must feel like crap.
And shortly thereafter, Janet Reno Dance Party on SNL became a thing. 97, Coal Chamber released their self-titled debut album, the one with Loco. And in 2012, Whitney Houston died in her hotel bathtub the night before the Grammys. The coroner's report ruled her death an accidental drowning, but also listed cocaine use and heart disease as contributing factors. She was only 48 years old at the time. And there you go. Some stuff that happened on February 11th, along with some birthdays. Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, is coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Shortly after 8 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, we are joined on the phone by Grant Bills, the host of the Wisco Sports Show, which can be heard on 580 a.m. and 96.7 FM, WKTY in La Crosse. Sports Talk 105.1 FM and 790 AM in Eau Claire, and 96.7 FM and 1670 AM, The Zone in Madison. Sorry, Grant, but I was told by the up-and-ups, the hoity-toities, that I need to mention every single radio station that we own and that you're on, and I had to write it all down, Grant Bills, and I did that for you.
I was going to say, someone gave you the memo to say all of them, and you wrote them down.
Yeah.
As, you can memorize things. I don't doubt your memorization skills, but I know that you wrote all that down because you were told to.
There's one I'm missing, too. There's a Menominee in there, right? Or Mosinee?
Yeah, Menominee Marionette. Not Menominee, Wisconsin. That would just be Eau Claire, the other side of the state. Yeah, that Menominee.
Okay. That one I'll have. You don't have any of this on your stupid Facebook page, so I had to, do actual Google research. You suck at promoting your own show.
Sorry.
Grant,
I'm sorry.
Get us what we need to tell everybody how to listen to you all over the state of Wisconsin. You're back from New Orleans.
Yes.
I am, and it's cold, and I don't know why that surprises me. It's February, but I got off the plane on Saturday and was pissed off instantly.
Grant, I saw one of your posts on Facebook was about the food. What was the best item that you had while you were down there in New Orleans? Because you said you're a Wisconsin guy at heart, but you'll never forget the food you had while in the big city.
Char-broiled oysters, char-grilled oysters. They were called different things at different places. I could eat I did. I could eat 24 of those things in one sitting. And then you mix in a couple martinis with that, the olives as well. So that was really great. Honorable mention to the turtle soup. Didn't know it was real turtle. I thought everyone that I asked when they said yes, I thought they were kidding. It's real turtle. Who knew? And then also I had a piece of pecan-crusted fish. That was delicious. And also crawfish. You'd think they'd be gross. They're not fishy at all.
No.
It's weirdly, it's like eating a pistachio. That's what it reminded me of. It was like a snack.
Yeah. Did you eat the head too, or did you suck all the juice out?
Yeah, less out of that. The heads of these crawfish weren't particularly juicy. I was mostly focused on the tail, but I tried because I know that's how you're supposed to do it.
Well, Grant, we talked to you last week while you were there, setting the scene and describing the people walking through Radio Row. Let's talk about the game itself, which, of course, was on Sunday. What is your takeaway, I guess, from the game? It was a thorough beatdown by the Eagles, and I heard you yesterday on your program say that the debate about Brady Mahomes is now over.
First of all, I knew you were about to lie when you said I heard on your program yesterday. I'm like, you weren't listening. Stop right there, because I know you weren't listening.
I did. I know. I watched the YouTube video this morning. I went back and because I wanted to hear your reaction. I wanted to know, and I know you had a segment of your show yesterday where you talked about the argument, and Boston people are saying that you have to kill this argument. It no longer exists, and I am one of those people.
The game. Well, give me 2 seconds before we get to that. The Eagles are a deserving champion. Take nothing away from them. I think they were the best team far and away in the league. That roster is stacked. I think it's unbelievable that a team with a coach and a quarterback who most folks don't believe to be elite could lead Patrick Mahomes by 35 points. And the team is so good. They're coached by Nick Sirianni and quarterback by Jalen Hurts. They're good enough to do that. So all the credit in the world. Very deserving champion. NFL fans should be satisfied with the result, even though the game was just a big fart. Like there was really nothing. There was nothing to get out of that. And I think it detracted from the halftime show too. Whatever. The Patriots part of it, Simpson, I just think it's crazy. And you would know more about this than me, so I'm not trying to lecture you about your own team and your own dynasty. I just think it's wild. Tom Brady once went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. And Patriots fans want to kill any possible comparisons right now because Mahomes couldn't win 3 in a row. That just seems like a little bit of an overreaction. He's still on the pace. He's still on Brady's pace. He's still right there.
Yes.
I don't know. Unless you think getting blown out is just this unspeakable sin and he'll never bounce back from it, I guess maybe, but
no.
It just seems like a little bit of an overreaction from you East Coast folks, Simpson. That's
the blowing out thing does not. I could care less about that. Brady had plenty of games where he got blown out in his career. Obviously, none of them were really in the Super Bowl. I think the problem is we obviously covet. We're jealous. We don't want to have Mahomes referenced in the same breath as Tom Brady. His greatness spanned over 2 decades. Mahomes is still in the impetus of his career. There's certainly a chance for him to catch him with 7 Super Bowls, but that becomes a lot harder now that he didn't win 3 in a row. And the problem I think that New England people have is that the 3 in a row, a lot of people were saying this will now trump whatever Brady did. And you're like, no, bitch, I was there for 2 decades, and it was every other year Brady was in the Super Bowl. He went to 10 of them, I say 10. And that's just insane. And he did it over a long span of his career, 2 different teams. It was obvious afterwards when the fallout happened and you saw what happened with Belichick.
Okay.
It was always
All right.
Brady in New England. It was never Belichick. Don't get me wrong. He needed Belichick as much as Belichick needed Brady, but it was always about Brady. And so I think that's why New England people have such a hard time with Mahomes. I will say out loud to the entire world, Mahomes is a superior quarterback to anybody else in the NFL. He does things that no one else can do or will do. He's just incredibly talented, much like we felt about Aaron Rodgers when he came in, and you're like, this guy can throw it all over the place, but he's just not a winner. He's a loser. He's a bum. He doesn't want to win. He just wants to do whatever he wants to do and be an egomaniac. Brady made it all about winning, and that's what I think people crave the most about their quarterback. You want that guy that's he's a killer, like a Kobe. You want him to go out there and just win, and that's it.
Well, I think Mahomes is like Rodgers and Brady together. And no one may ever win as much as Brady. Now, I think Patrick Mahomes has proven that he can win in the big moments. It's just going to be hard to catch Brady because he was in a great spot and they just had that thing dialed. And, maybe they got lucky once or twice. Whatever. We don't need to get into that. Like, Mahomes is the skill of Rodgers, but with that killer instinct of Brady. He's gotten blown out now in 2 Super Bowls where I think his team was significantly less talented. But, right, that's on the quarterback. You got to find a way to make adjustments and at least hang in there, even if you don't win. I'm glad that you're not hung about the blown out thing, because I don't really think that matters that much. You win or you lose.
I think that's a farcical argument. I just think it's a fool's errand. It's a waste of time. Like I said, do teams get blown out? It could be, a guy goes down with an injury or somebody's, you don't put Malcolm Butler in, whatever the case may be. These things happen. It's, a blowout is a blowout, and it just happened to them in the Super Bowl when it mattered the most. But, Grant, after the game, which obviously was a fart, as you mentioned, is there anything else in terms of commercials or halftime show that you took away from the Super Bowl?
The halftime show, I allowed for some halftime show takes on my show last night because the game gave us so little. So I was like, all right, normally the halftime show, it's like, if you like it, cool, it was for you. And if not, okay, it wasn't for you. That's about as deep as it needs to be. If you don't like the artist or you don't like the genre, it's probably not for you. And that's fine. Maybe it'll be your year next year. I like Kendrick just fine. I'm not someone who's completely oblivious to his music or his style of music. I'm not the world's biggest rap fan, but I listen to plenty. My only disappointment with him is he didn't play some of his biggest songs. Like, he's turned into, and I understand we all think it's funny, he's turned into a guy who just goes at Drake all the time, which is kind of entertaining, but except, like, you're Kendrick Lamar. Like, you don't need to do that. You're a legend. You have all these awards. You've won a Pulitzer. Like, play your songs, man. So, I don't know. I thought his halftime show was fine. I think it could have been a lot better if he had played some of his biggest, like, his legendary hits, which mostly went unplayed. That's it.
Are you planning? We had talked to you about this a while ago, and you were going to try to rearrange your schedule and figure out a way to be at opening day for the Brewers on the 31st. Now, Brian is probably going on a bus.
I'm going to be on one of the buses.
So are you going to be at AmFam on the 31st? Have you figured out a way to be there and take this in?
Well, you are technically one of my superiors, Gene. I should be asking you. I don't know. I thought I was going to maybe be doing something in La Crosse for opening day. I would like to go. Simpson, could you pick me up on the side of the interstate on the bus? Is that something that's possible? Could I be your +1?
Do you know who I am? I got so much pull around here. It's crazy. I can do whatever I want.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know Jean Taylor. You work with her every day. You know very important, powerful people.
I know a couple, yeah. They require me to say all the radio stations that Grant Bills is on with the Wisco Sports Show every weekday afternoon from 4 until 6.
Hey.
WKTY in La Crosse. Sports Talk 105.1 FM in Eau Claire and The Zone in Madison.
I got one more question for you, Grant Bills. About actual sports, too. How about the Badgers in these 7 games left and what's going to happen? How are we going to end up?
Big test on Saturday against Purdue. If they win this one, they got to be a top 10 team after the rankings come out next week, right?
And the thing is, they don't have anything going on this week. They don't have anything going on this week. They don't have any games. It's not like they have to jet over to Rutgers for a Tuesday night game. It's not like they have to head down to, UCLA for a week. Like, they know that Purdue is on Saturday. all they have this week is to prepare. I assume they're very busy because my multiple media requests for interviews with coaches and players have been denied. I can only assume that means they're dialed and focused. So Saturday is huge. They have not won a game like this year. They've handled all of the equal or lesser teams, and they've had plenty of impressive wins. But the teams above them in the Big Ten have beaten them basically without failure this year, and they need to notch a couple wins. They need to put a couple of these pelts on the wall. Purdue would be an excellent opportunity. They have a week off leading up to it. This kind of feels like the beginning of the rest of their season, and I really hope defensively they showed a ton against Iowa on Saturday. That was really nice because this has been more of an offensive first team, so hopefully we have reached the point now where this team is rounding into form, and it's taking place right as their most important part of their schedule starts, and that's Purdue on Saturday. I am very excited to watch that game. I will be traveling. I will have nothing going on. I will be parked on my couch, and I'm looking forward to it.
Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, as I mentioned, heard throughout the state. I'll relist all the radio stations here in a moment. One last question as we get closer to a very important holiday on Friday. When we talked to you last week from the Super Bowl, you mentioned a hot sauce gift for your wife / girlfriend, the lady in your life. What else is on the agenda for Grant Bill's most romantic day of all time?
So the hot sauce got left behind because my suitcase weighed too much, but I did get her this very cool coffee mug from Cafe Du Monde, which I thought was she's a big coffee drinker, so it was a cool mug. Yes. I also got her something else that will be gifted for Valentine's Day this weekend, so I think I have my bases covered.
Okay, all right.
I think we're going to get a dinner at an Italian place on Friday night that I haven't tried. Simpson, you accidentally referred to her as my wife. She is not my wife. We're not engaged. But you tell me if this is right or wrong. I, more than once last week in New Orleans, referred to her in networking situations as my wife because it sounds more adult. And there were two people that I talked to who have Twin Cities ties, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And as a I don't even want to say it's a networking tool, but as a point of conversation, I said, oh, my wife is from Minneapolis. My wife is from, and that furthered the conversation. Is that bad? Is that bad because it sounds more adult? There's more pop behind that than girlfriend, and I hope that's
make it official. Just stop.
Okay.
Look, stop pussyfooting around and put a ring on it. You like it?
Yes,
put a ring on it. If you're willing to sleep with only one woman for the rest of your entire life and never get sick of it, then do it already. Seriously, stop messing around.
You can't just take the benefits of the title when you need them and you throw wife around
Does
when
she
it's
do that to you in
you.
conversation? My husband from Wisconsin, who's a sports stock dork.
I give her nothing though. I provide nothing. She would never need to reference me in any conversations professionally. I don't offer anything.
Drinking from the tea.
Take the title when it feels good. It helps advance the career a little bit, but otherwise, don't put a ring on it because I don't want to be strapped down. I'm a musician. I'm a sports guy.
I am all for getting the milk for free, but sometimes you got to buy the cow. All right, sometimes you got to bite the bullet.
It's not that I don't want to buy the cow. I would love to buy the cow.
Okay.
Do you know how expensive a cow is? So expensive in 2025. You guys got married and got houses for like $60,000 back in the day.
It was like $82,000, and it was like 2009, so it wasn't that long ago. All right, and it was a sell by owner. It was a real great situation. We got lucky, but Grant Bills.
Try to get a calf then, maybe not a full cow. Can you lower the expectations?
Have you suggested a throuple situation maybe where you've got an extra income where you can buy the house, you can all afford it?
Yeah, but then it's lame. It's like, let's get married, but we can't really do it. Let's go to the courthouse. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's probably how Simpson got married, knowing him for some reason. I don't know. That seems like something he would do.
I had a big wedding. Lots of people. Shaw's kid got married at the court. There's nothing wrong. Whatever works for you two, just stop messing around and put a ring on it. All right, Grant Bills?
No one's messing around. This is a challenge of time and resources, which you guys know. And I guess I walked into this by telling you a funny story from last week. I just thought of you when I said that multiple times, like, I feel like I have to ask Simpson.
I'm sure her father would appreciate if you would stop living in sin with his lovely daughter and defiling her on a nightly basis and put a ring on it and stop being such a cheater. And just cheating the system by using the wife phrase instead of actually having a wife.
Have fun with your wife this Valentine's Day. Make sure you let her know how much you love and appreciate her, and we'll talk to you next week. Go Badgers.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. That's communicated constantly. Yes. Appreciate you both. Have an excellent week. It's nice to chat always.
Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show. Again, you can hear him on all sorts of different stations, including WKTY in La Crosse, Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire, The Zone in Madison. And then that other station that I forgot to write down.
Yep.
It's going to be another meeting.
That's all right. We got it. We got it.
Stepping him up or close the door.
I love that kid.
I do. I love him. He adds something to the show. He's good.
Awesome.
It's nice. I got to get him on that bus.
I know you do. That'll be fun.
He'll be too into the game, though. He won't. Like, I'm there to party. I'm not there to watch. whatever. Game, schmame.
He'll be definitely into watching the
I'm
game.
working. I'm writing, taking notes.
Yeah. Yep.
Some Blackville Brides in just a couple minutes, and bad news with happy music next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
This happened in, I think it was Washington State. Kitsap County, Washington. Seen a lot of road rage videos. People messing around on the roadways, stopping, starting, swerving, trying to block someone from turning, running into you, getting out of their car, smashing your window, all sorts of craziness, right? Dragging you out, beating you up. This, though, is one of the first times I've ever seen fireworks used in a road rage incident.
As a weapon?
This happened last weekend in Kitsap County, Washington, all caught on dash cam video. Authorities say a woman was driving when a four-door Dodge truck began following her. The truck then passed her, and someone started shooting fireworks at her car. Like
bottle rockets?
Not bottle rockets, like the tubes. You know what I mean? Like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Kitsap County Sheriff's Office said it appears a person in the passenger seat was launching a Roman candle-style firework, shooting sparks onto the road. The truck then drove off once the woman pulled into a parking lot. Sheriff's Office there has been asking the public for help finding the owner of the Dodge four-door pickup truck.
I see you got them snakes and sparklers, but where's the good stuff, man? Good stuff.
This is the good stuff.
This is the good stuff. Snakes and sparklers.
Are you nuts, dude? You need stuff to explode. Go boom.
I don't even know if it was really road rage. Maybe it was just somebody who was goofing.
Just doing that, driving up and down
fireworks on the highway.
Probably not a good and safe idea.
We threw a pie on somebody's windshield once. It was friends of ours, though. We'd gone to a all-night breakfast place, kind of like a Denny's or whatever in our town. And we were goofing off, and we stole a pie from the counter. And we were, chasing each other down the highway. And then when we got to the end of the exit, I reached out and I threw it. It got all over their windshield.
Our coworker got hit in the face with a taco.
While driving.
I know.
Right through the window.
Through an open window.
That was a 1 in a million shot.
It was.
Do you know what a fatberg is?
No.
You know what an iceberg is, right?
I do.
A fatberg is basically a version of an iceberg, and it's in the sewer system. And it's like fat and grease and wipes, and it all balls up into a glob of goo that
someone has to deal with.
Somebody has to pull out at some point. And Bryan Adams was supposed to play a concert, and they had to cancel it because of a fatberg in the sewer system. That's how bad this thing was.
Like a knife.
Like the people couldn't use the bathrooms, likely? Is that what they're saying?
Basically, yeah. Like thousands of people trying to crowd into this arena to watch a show, going to be using the toilets. And they said, whoa, sewer system can't handle any of this extra pressure right now. We got a fatberg situation.
Ugh.
This was in Perth, Australia on Sunday night. Bryan Adams, supposed to play a show there, had to be canceled due to a massive fatberg that was blocking the city's sewer system. A fatberg is an accumulation of non-biodegradable solids like wet wipes that mix with fat, oil, and grease and create a mass of nastiness that blocks the sewer system. And fatberg, yes, is a real word. It's a combination of the words fat and iceberg. One of those fatbergs capsizing Bryan Adams' concert in Perth on Sunday.
Whatever people are paid to deal with that is probably not
You
enough.
ever seen a picture of one of these things when they pull it out?
I'm not even going to Google it. I'm not even going to Google it. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. It makes you it makes you believe in the Smiths and the Matrix. We're a disease, man. We're not meant for this planet. Flushing all that crap down there.
Yeah.
Not good. Obviously, Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
Yes.
These two apparently wanted to celebrate a little bit early at the bus station in front of the Wendy's. Oh, love was there was a lot in the air. According to police, Demetria Wilson and Tamario Merrill caught in the act on Saturday of last week in #Florida. Officer Parker Moody reported spotting Wilson, the woman, and Merrill, the gentleman, laying on the ground behind the bus stop in view of the busy highway. Again, this is in broad daylight.
Yeah.
The bus stop is in front of a Wendy's restaurant adjacent to U.S. Highway 19. Wilson, unencumbered by pants, was on her right side with her buttocks facing her partner. Got it?
I do got it.
Merrill's pants were pulled down, and he was in turgid state as he repetitively engaged with Wilson.
Well, you do repetitively engage. That's how it gets done.
You never know when the moment's going to strike, right?
That's how
These
it gets
new
done.
pills, these hims and hers, man, they come in the mail, and you don't need a doctor, and the next thing you know, you're banging at a bus stop in front of a Wendy's in broad daylight.
With both of you having your pants down,
Turgid.
which I guess is...
I haven't used that word in a long time. I'm going to go home and tell my wife that I'm feeling very turgid this evening. The couple busted, charged with performing an unnatural and lascivious act. Both of these people apparently have lengthy rap sheets, remain locked up in lieu of their bond. Apparently can't pay their $150 and $500 bonds to get out.
Oh my gosh, they still sitting there?
I'm guessing they live outdoors is my guess, along with Bang Outdoors. So there's that in front of the Wendy's in Florida.
Where's the beef?
Daylight.
Right over there by the bus station is where it is. Normally, it's bad news with happy music, but I got to say, this is probably pretty good news. An update on a story that we had not too long ago. You remember the guy who bought the Honda and, missed a payment, and then the owner of the dealership, tracked him down and carjacked him?
Yes.
In broad daylight,
Yes.
Stole his own car back?
Even though
And it was a mix-up with, a insurance company or something like that?
He'd been making payments, hadn't he,
Yes.
or something? Yeah.
A federal judge has now handed down an 8-year sentence to a former car dealer convicted of carjacking his own customer near Miami International Airport over a single missed payment, one missed payment. A Miami federal jury convicting Eric Haddad of federal carjacking back in October. Prosecutors say he operated Guru Auto Sales with his sons. Google currently lists the dealership as permanently closed. Authorities said the Israeli national victimized a 24-year-old Haitian immigrant who bought a 2020 Honda Accord from Guru back in October of 2023. We had this story a while ago.
I remember this, yeah.
Prosecutors said the victim was never given a copy of the sales paperwork and was not aware that an agreement between Guru and the finance company stipulated that if he was late on a payment within the first 2 months of the loan, then the finance company could demand the approximately $13,000 it paid for the loan back from the dealership. The victim's first payment bounced after he had set up autopay, investigators said, setting in motion a chain of events that would turn Haddad into a federal prisoner. December 19, 2023, 5 days after he got a letter from the company telling Guru to pay back the $13,000, Haddad, stalked out the victim's home and in a BMW followed him to the airport where this guy worked at. Prosecutors said that even though the victim was current on his account that day and the dealership was expressly told they couldn't repossess the car from the insurance company, the finance company, the guy still went through it.
Took it anyway.
Victim reached a red light. Haddad, who the victim had never met before, got out of his BMW in the middle of the intersection, approached his car, ripped the paper temporary tag off, and aggressively yelled at the victim to get out. Victim was able to get away when the light turned green, but Haddad eventually caught up to the victim, continued aggressively screaming at the victim to get out of the car, eventually flashing a holstered gun in his waistband.
Yeah, I'm getting out of the
and getting
car.
the man to surrender his keys. So this guy now has got 8 years in federal prison for losing his mind
Doing all
over a
that
simple miscommunication. And now his business is closed and he's going to federal prison for 8 years. Crazy. Last but not least, wedding planning, supposed to be the time of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the future.
Stressful.
Your love for one another. You want to include all these memorable moments, right? You want to have a lot of symbolism. Maybe it's lighting a candle together. My buddy Donut and his wife, they poured sand into a glass with Jake.
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of different stuff, right? The rings, the flowers, all of it.
Family traditions. You could have family stuff.
Old, blue, new, all that crap. There's also, as Gene mentioned right off the bat, a lot of stress.
There's a lot of stress.
And that's what happened in Wisconsin when a woman and her boyfriend were having a dispute over the wedding venue, and she stabbed him in the neck.
Oh, my God.
Brookfield Police Department has accused a woman of stabbing her boyfriend over their wedding venue dispute. Her name is Kaylee Brantner.
How much can you dispute?
A lot, apparently, enough to stab. I'm guessing relationship's over, right? Well, just saved a bunch of money on car insurance by getting stabbed in the neck.
Yes.
She's facing charges of battery and reckless injury. Brookfield police said the situation started when officers were called to a residence about a reported stabbing and domestic situation back on the 29th of January. Officers arriving at the home, they found a man on the ground holding a towel on the left side of his neck.
She stabbed me.
Police say that the woman was sitting on the couch in the next room. One of the officers at the scene said Brantner told him that the ordeal started over a disagreement about using their house as the wedding venue.
How about we use our house as the wedding venue?
So he said, in order to keep costs down.
And then it goes like this. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's talk about other places.
According to the arrest report, Brantner and her boyfriend exchanging messages earlier in the day that involved his mother and the discussion of possible wedding plans. See, this is what happens when you get these in-laws and people involved. They start messing around. Next thing you know, you're getting stabbed in the neck.
Texting your mother-in-law and what?
Never involve the mother-in-law if you don't have to.
What do you
Stay away from her. She's bad news.
All right, no, not at all. But.
Very bad news. Mm-mm. The discussion with the mother-in-law led to a disagreement between the couple. She returned home from work to continue the conversation, and that's when things got violent. Officers said that Brantner told them she grabbed the knife because she was getting scared of what was happening, and she put her hands up when her boyfriend came towards her, and that's when he was stabbed. A detective said the boyfriend told him that Brantner was the one who got physical first when the two were talking, and that he was trying to remove himself from the situation. The man said that when he noticed Brantner had a knife, he tried to get out of the back door of the house, and that's when he felt a stabbing pain in his neck. Authorities said Brantner taken into custody. From the evidence and statements given at the scene, 22-year-old reportedly made her initial court appearance on January 31st, scheduled for a hearing later this week.
So are they going to still get married?
No. You can't. No. As a person who has...
I agree with you, but people do this kind of crazy stuff. They marry people who are already in jail for murdering people.
You can't stay in that relationship.
I agree. You guys are better suited not together, but you know how things are.
Yeah, you load up your Buick LeSabre and you move to La Crosse, Wisconsin. Done deal. And I didn't even get stabbed. I almost got stabbed.
There was a stabbing in this one.
This one, an actual stabbing.
Mm-hmm. But the mother-in-law and the venue and the wedding stuff.
You can't get them involved. They heat up the situation. It gets too much.
Mm-hmm.
Bad news, happy music. We'll get to our daily check-ins after Godsmack.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Head to the website, rockmornings.com, for all of our contact info. You can register to win prizes on the website as well. Listen to the show live, daily podcast, all that.
Tomorrow's Workforce Wednesday, so make sure you sign up to win freebies. You can do that there. Sign up for date night. That's on Friday. Free movie passes and pizza. That'd be for Valentine's Day, and it would cost you anything.
Chris in Alabama texted in earlier and said, donkey things, does that have anything to do with Tijuana? I think that's a different kind of donkey.
Sweet little donkey.
Eeyore, the sad donkey who fell in love with a yoga ball that popped, and through the power of social media was able to get a whole bunch of yoga balls, and then found a a couple other rescue donkeys that he made buddies with, and now Eeyore is named Earl.
And having a good life. The good life.
Rob texted in and said, as a Bears fan, I thought football season always ended after October 16th. What is that, week 8? But thank God pitchers and catchers report on Thursday.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. Somebody texted in earlier, National Latte Day. Said, saying it's just coffee, it's just like telling you it's just beer. Big difference in flavors.
Yeah, I'm going to get a latte today, this afternoon.
It's still just coffee at the end of the day. It's coffee beans ground up and brewed with water, and then you put a bunch of crap in it.
Milk and flavors and iced or hot. So I'm going to get one. Latte day.
Chad texted in earlier, said, what's better than roses on your piano? Tulips on your organ?
It's a Valentine's Day joke. See, I got that.
Jim also texted in, said he can't wait for baseball. Go Braves.
Is it the spring itch? Is that what it is? Is it just
it's all that.
thing?
Well, football's over, right? So it's over. And it doesn't start again. I mean, we've got, the draft and free agency and all that crap. But in terms of, like, actual on-the-field football stuff, we got till June, July for OTAs and all that crap. And while we're excited about NASCAR starting with the Daytona 500.
Basketball, hockey.
The real...
It's the sense of spring, isn't it?
I mean, it's the weather change. It's like, okay, warm weather, baseball, grilling, outdoors.
It's the renewal of all things spring,
New year,
summer.
Everything's turning green, all that crap. I think that's really what it's about. So,
baseball. Remember, we're taking that bus from Eau Claire and from La Crosse to opening day. If you want to be at AmFam Field, that is a Monday. It is the 31st for their home opener. We've got round trip bus transportation, tailgating in the parking lot included. Plus fun areas for you to sit inside the ballpark that then include more food and beverages. And you can find out all the details about being at AmFam Field on opening day, euchre patches and all, by going to wiscotrips.com.
Thanks for all the correspondence this morning. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We will talk to you tomorrow.